welcome to the Wood and Work podcast. I am your host, Paul from JCR Builds in Liverpool, UK. No Josh today, as he is indeed moving house, or so he says. He's just basically got his feet up, I think. We have one of our best episode guests back on today. Everyone loved him, so we thought we'd get him back on. It's Jerry from Grantland Timber.
Hello, everyone.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much for coming back, Jerry. So, noticed, I'm not sure with obviously the times going out, but you've got another one of your great giveaways on your page, which you do on a regular basis. Do you want to start off telling people what that sort of giveaway is? That you it's not a giveaway as such; it's more of a ridiculously cheap amount of wood for for nothing. Like fill your van for £10 or something, and it's basically a giveaway.
Yeah, I know it might seem strange to some, but there are often times when you come across bits from the sawmill shed and you're like, it's a bit too good to be chucking into the firewood pile. So I do try my best to keep absolutely everything in the hope that it will go and be created and made into something. So currently we have something called the plank bank, not to be confused with other things on the internet. So mind how you say it.
Careful with your search.
And in that specific area, there are a lot of heavily discounted boards. So if you guys want to come fill your boots, you're more than welcome. There's a hell of a lot there. And it's primarily aimed, if you're gonna create the next piece of antique furniture, it's not quite clean, straight grained. It's really for the individuals that are not saying that people who aren't doing those things aren't creative, but it's not that type of timber.
It's more the sort of thing that you buy the piece of timber and decide what you make with the piece of timber, rather than, oh, I need oak or I need elm, and you don't buy that for a specific project. You're going to buy it and then go, what can I do with this, or what can I turn this into, and go from there. The good old wing gets into it.
Yeah, I think how it's come to this situation is mega weird. So over the whole kind of plank bank journey, met a lot of guys who are builders or people who are doing their very normal jobs, as an example. And
so the hobbyist more than an actual professional per se.
Correct. But again, also some people that do craft fairs. But there's still this obsession from everyone that I had met to really try and just do something, or the enjoyment of it more than anything.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for quite a lot of the time, it wasn't really financially viable for a lot of these people. One, because timber prices are incredibly high, materials are high. To start your workshop, your capital that you need to raise, depending on how much you go. But yeah, also to some people, if you haven't got the wonga, you're going to struggle a little bit. So I thought it would be a great way, and how it's kind of transformed is I just thought it'd be a great way just to encourage people just to get busy. Get busy, be creative. That's the most important thing. And it's nice. It is a really nice feeling. Yeah, absolutely. So and how it's
you say you did it a while ago.
Yeah, did it a while ago.
Yeah, so the audio just broke up a little bit then. I don't know what was going on. We just had a bit of a jitter. We were doing the old on screen. Yeah. So because you did one a while ago, and I think that's how I first came across your profile on Instagram. To be honest, was somehow I'd seen someone shared it or whatever. The old like, share, comment, tag someone in, whatever.
Yeah.
And you were doing this deal that it's like, unfortunately for me, because you're quite a journey away. But I was so tempted to get in my 3.5 ton long wheelbase van, come down, and fill the fucking van full of shit, because it'd be like, oh my God, what I could do with that. And that's it. I mean, because of, like, as you say, it's not coming with a project in mind. It's just, and it's a good thing because you're milling your own trees and what have you. So at the end of the day, it's even better even if you sell it for a £5 if it is waste. Because the whole thing, like one man's waste, it's another man's treasure, isn't it? Because what I might throw away because it's too small for me, a CNC might make a little trinket or something out of that, and it just keeps progressing to scraps and scraps and so yeah, so you've got that running, and even if that has actually expired by the time this episode goes out, it's something you run on a regular basis, isn't it? Or you have done in the past.
Well, if you hop on to my Instagram profile, it will notify you there that it is permanent. It is now here to stay. So, yeah.
Oh, that's very good news for everyone.
Yeah.
Basically.
But you still got to get your asses to there because it will disappear. But I'll keep adding to it, keep shuffling it around. But it's a now permanent fixture.
That's cool.
Yeah. So
that'll keep a lot of people happy for sure.
No time pressure. So yeah, meeting people who are coming from far and wide is nuts. Like you said, you might be coming from Liverpool. I have boys from Wales coming regularly. There's a guy that comes from London. It's just like shit.
It is, because I mean, I'm in a very fortunate position soon. This is just benefit for the viewers like that. I'm hopefully, all being well, that I'm going to come down in the autumn, and I'm going to come down to, and we're going to fell a tree. And so for me, I've never actually been part of this process, and it's nice to actually see something from a tree, that's stuck in the ground still.
Yeah,
and I get to see the bit of the process that I wouldn't normally be involved in. I go and pick it up, and it's either rough sawed or planed from my local hardwood place. So yeah, I'm very lucky that the fact of I'm going to be going down in the autumn. We're going to fell a tree. Going to do some of some. Obviously, we've not decided on the exact what the trip will entail yet. Obviously, we'll do another podcast while we're down there. Might do our first live stream podcast. I think that'd be a good one to do.
Cool.
But yeah, and it's just good that I think it's because you've seemed to have created a bit of a buzz with your Instagram page because of the plank bank and all that people are really getting on board with it, aren't they? And they're loving it.
I'm how it's transformed is really weird. I'm just rolling with the punches, but I am becoming more keen in trying to bridge the gap. What I mean by bridging the gap is giving people an idea of actually the levels of work involved for people bashing out new builds, as an example. The levels of work involved in which they have their materials, providing sometimes the material is shit. I don't deny that. But there is alternatives. You have got options. You don't have to buy your timber coming in from monoculture sites in Poland, as an example.
No, that's true.
There are, and systems will be changing fairly soon because our economy is massively. It's got to change. So whether or not I'm in that position, I'm not very industrious anyway when it comes to the whole timber side of things. We've got other things that we try to do, but the level of importance is trying to get everyone an idea in place on the work involved as the producer. It's a lot of fucking work.
Well, I mean, that's it, because it's not just, we spoke about this on if people want to link in to the previous episode, we talked about the forestry side and the responsible planting of trees when you take something down and everything else, looking forward for the future. Now, it's not just a case of chopping a tree, job done. It's not as easy as that. There's the process, the drying, everything. It's just so involved.
Yeah.
And it's, it's not that. I know people will go to B&Q, Home Depots, or wherever you want to call them, and there's a bit of oak there on the wall, or they have they call it live edge or whatever in B&Q and what have you, and it's basically just like a shitty slab or part of a slab, and people think that's how wood is.
Yeah.
No, it's a big fuck off tree over there, and even though it might be a big tree, you might not be able to use all that tree because it might have problems with the tree. So when you cut into it, you could get shitty bits of the tree, can't you? And then of course the equipment doesn't grow out the ground. You have to, which costs tens of thousands.
Yeah.
And then you got to store it, you got to dry it, then you got to process it, and it's heavily involved, isn't it?
It is. I think what people fail to understand, and the only comparison that's coming into my mind now is people are becoming more health conscious, right? Yeah, some people are trying to exercise X amount of times per week, and they're having a bit more connection with their food, as an example. In that same way, like in the way that we view how structures are being made or how material is getting to us, maybe we can also have that idea in mind of being able to have a very clear, concise idea in which this material, where it has come from. The importance to me is the provenance, like the ability to be able to say, I know where that bit of stone came from, as an example, or I know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think the more that becomes the norm, I think the more that things will start being pushed towards a localized economy. Maybe national economy would be good, because our economy's fucked.
No, it's not even that fucking good.
So, yeah, and that it's not. I'm not pioneering, trying to pioneer sort of revolutions, social experiment situation.
And if it happens, you heard it first on the Wooden Work podcast. No, it is though, but people don't understand. I mean, if you go to a kid these days, I mean, because we don't have kids, I don't have any kids or anything like that, so I don't understand what they're taught in school these days. So it's not something I've got a clue about. But would they really know that? I mean, the little lad next door, he keeps telling me how I build everything. I built all the houses around here. Well, I don't, but I didn't. I was never involved. These were built in the 50s. But it's that sort of thing that they don't understand and they don't realise where things come from. I mean, as you say, take it for the food. People don't understand that chicken breasts come from a chicken. They'll see a chicken running around. Oh yeah, it's chicken. But they're like, oh no, chicken comes from Tesco or Asda or whatever. No, it's that bit there. That bit there is that bit there. The breast. It's the bit that's running around there.
I like the gesture.
Yeah, and the drumstick. That's its leg. No, it's not. It can't be. It's just got like a spiky claw at the bottom. You're like, no. But the people don't appreciate or understand, as you say, where things come from. And
yeah, I mean, like I'm like anyone, I'm fairly hypocritical. I'm not going to deny I prefer my meat wrapped up in plastic. I'm not going to go out to a field and slaughter a cow, trying to live this primal kind of lifestyle to have absolute traceability, because it's not functional.
Well, no, it's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? That's why we have farmers.
Yeah, I mean, but part of it, this whole idea of supporting farmers, as an example, people make a conscious effort to go and support a farmer. They might even go off to a farm, pick the fruit, because they can see where it's coming from. And I'm not trying to do it in a kind of romantic sort of way. Well, it is. I mean, there is a certain romance of being able to understand the whole situation, isn't it? But it's traceability, being able to have the confidence in mind that, I don't know, sometimes when people ring me up, they want a timber frame made, and I can go, right, I can provide you. And I am very transparent. I'm like, look, I cannot match with the big boys. There is no fucking way that my costs can match them. I am more expensive, but what you get in return is I can take you to the site, and if my brain will allow me, I can take you to the exact stump. Here is what I've done around it. This is what I've planted in its place. So, and when I not pitch, but when I describe this to someone, I can see the cogs turning. I can see it moving, and they're like, okay, yeah, shit, that's important. So
it is, but I think with a lot of people, because unfortunately, price is going to win. End of.
True.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, as you say, I've got a hardwood supplier, and he found out about him. I don't know, 18 months ago. I've only lived here for 7 years, and he's literally 2 miles down the road. Oh, for fuck's sake. PB Hardwoods in Liverpool. Connor is superb.
Good.
He's always looks after me. Now they do like me. Mainly, they'll get like full things in. They'll break it down and they send things out in the lorry full. Do you know what I mean? It's quite an industrial almost. But
Mm.
I'll go in. I only want 3 bits of 150 B19 at 2.4 oak or whatever, walnut or whatever. Yeah, not a problem. And he spends more time with me than he probably will do with the commercial thing. Because he knows full well I'm going to go back there next time when I need something. And I always will. And it's just, people don't know that things like hardwood suppliers, I've seen quite a lot of posts on Facebook groups recently, in some of the beginner wood groups, if you want to call them that. And everyone's like, "Oh, you can't buy hardwood in the UK. It's ridiculously expensive. It doesn't exist. This, that, and the other. You Yanks have it easy." I'm like, "Excuse me. No, I can get it locally because this person was actually quite local to me." It's like, no, just down the road, pal. You can literally just go down the road and get it. And he has a rack, a bit like, say, a bit not as same size as your plank bank, but he has this. Connor has this rack where if the order was for 300 pieces, he did 310. The other 10 pieces go in the rack. And they're there if people want to get the one piece of walnut or the one piece of, and we're talking like, strip more like 200 B, 20 mil, 2.4, 3 meters or whatever. And he's like, yeah. But the thing is, his prices are fucking so cheap. I mean,
Good.
like, really cheap. But again, I think that's because he gets his main money from like the commercial side and all that. When someone goes in for the one or two little pieces, he looks after them because they're the local source. Do you know what I mean? They're within this area.
Yeah.
The ones he's shipping the lorry to, all right, he might have made X amount of pounds or whatever on the big lorry full.
Yeah.
But that's someone on the end of the phone, 300 miles away.
Yeah.
It's not the person on the doorstep.
Correct, because I'm only thinking maybe how I would think in that situation, but he's already instinctively knowing that person's gone in there in terms of price, and that's the only reason why. And it's likely that they won't come back again. It's one of these weird situations that I can't get my head around. Like, I will never, like, where the location of my mill is in the fucking arse end of nowhere. It is. We are in bandit territory. Like, if you get lost, signal fire, it's that bad. And I will never run a boutique kind of style setting. It wouldn't be possible. But
just watch all the cow shit as you walk through to the fucking yard to get the
plant. Oh, it's all over the boards. It's all over the boards that people come and pick up. It comes at a premium as well if it's covered in cow shit.
Yeah. Added value for money because you can use that as manure when you get home, can't you?
Yeah, but I mean, like, the whole idea of running a boutique style shop, just won't wash. And on top of that, I think in the way that your man's looking after you, I think it's just so important. Like, I don't know, if surely to me, like, the whole idea of business is about good communication and being able to chat to your local network. Rather than huge, great big suppliers. But I'm going to rattle some cages.
Networking is massive. Networking is massively important. 100%. Local networks. We talk about all the time.
Local network beats. It's like a whole word of mouth type situation. If you're a guy that's run your completely on word of mouth kind of style, and you don't have a social media base, that's not to say don't. By the way, that's neither. We're still okay. But
that's exactly how I've operated my business for the last 20 years, to be honest. I don't post on my Facebook page or anything like that. I don't use it. My Instagram page is a content creating page. I've started another page up, but I don't use social media to drive for business.
Yeah.
I just won't do it.
Well, wrong. I think it's a bit that it doesn't make sense because there's only so many pictures of, I don't know, like I find when people are just posting pictures up of, I don't know, alcove units or under the stairs units that they've made quite religiously. They look nice, of course, but fairly samey, aren't they? But yeah.
See, that's why it is hard, though, I suppose, as well. Like, but I've noticed a lot with your reels; they're quite different with your reels, and like, there's a pretty cool one when you had a little group up recently out to your lands, because obviously you got a little lake and what have you, and well, you got the full estate, haven't you? Obviously, but you got the nice little lake and all that, and you were showing people around and stuff like that, and you got the woodland walk, and you got all that side, and that as well. It just creates that sort of thing. Is they might, they're going to go back and tell people, oh, that idiot, he's got a lovely little wood in his shed there. Do you know what I mean? But no, it is, but it's that word of mouth thing, and I think as you say, like the networking in the local area is super, super important. But obviously, your networking now it has spread. If you got people coming down from Wales and what have you, I mean, that's a good. I mean, it's a good 5-6 hours.
Yeah.
To get down to you, because I think you're about 6 hours away from me. It's a good trek.
Yeah, that is a good trek. I mean, the whole exploration thing, that was partly an idea for diversification, and also partly it kind of coincides and runs quite nicely with trying to bridge the gap. So we are on the website soon. Shameless plug. Sorry about this, Paul. But on the web,
plug away, pal. Plug away.
There will be an opportunity for you guys to select a date. We will stack it up in groups of 5. It will be totally random, and on the day, you guys will come and visit us, and we will do a tour of the woods, our forestry methods, sawmill demos, and including you guys, if you wanted to use it, an opportunity to use it yourself, slab up a piece of wood, which would be quite cool. And there are 3 sawmills which we will be going to look at. The oldest one is 100 years old, and it is in full working order. So yeah, plug over. Sorry, but
that's cool.
Part of that is, again, the idea of completing the process where people have a bit more of that connection, understanding, right, this is what this side of the industry entails, and this is the levels of work involved for me to receive this chunk of board.
Yeah, no, it is, because like I said to say, going back to when I get to come and do some sort of like tree felling, milling, or whatever it is we come down to do, I'm like, I can't remember who I was talking to. I was like, oh yeah, I'll have to have a bit, whatever we do, I'll have to have a piece of the board, or whatever we do, or the tree, or whatever. Don't know how big or whatever, but I'll have to make something from it, because the thing is, I can say,
you've cut it.
I've taken that tree down. I've milled it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it is that whole thing. I mean, it's one thing I hadn't realised until recently, because little things. Nick James Design, he's a Newcastle lad.
Yeah.
I speak to Nick quite a bit. He does some fabulous pieces, like proper fine furniture.
Yeah, it's really nice.
He's really, really cool. But do you know he also fells his own stuff?
Yeah.
And I didn't until recently, when I actually sort of met him properly. I met him a few months ago, and I just think it's really cool how he's pretty much doing the whole journey with every piece. Not always every piece, but a lot of his pieces are literally tree, cut down, mill, process. Now let's go and build some nice fine furniture from it. And he's doing the whole thing with it. And I just think that's really cool. And obviously he does the same thing with you as you do, with the doing the replanting, because he's involved with the estates up there and everything. So it's all the responsible growth and looking after the land and everything else. And I just think it's really, really cool. But I mean, admittedly, if I was 20-year-old joiner, like obviously, like last week I was, and I would not care. I don't care where the wood comes from. I really don't care. I didn't. So it's not that I don't now. I did not care, because it's like, I need this, I need that. It's just, that's what I need. I didn't care.
When changed for you?
Sorry?
When do you reckon that might have changed for you?
I'd say it was probably only recently, to be honest, because as a sort of transition and change from like wanting to get back into making furniture pieces and, or finer joinery.
Yeah.
I'm just sick of, I enjoy putting nice kitchens in, designer kitchens, and making designer kitchens and doing all that. I enjoy doing alcove units and spraying them all, and the fitted shelves and fancy lights. I do enjoy doing them, because I'll spray everything myself, or and I do enjoy doing them. But I'm just sick to death of like doing doors and skirting boards and shit. And I am. So I wanted to move into more like the finer furniture stuff again. I've made some really cool pieces. I mean, obviously, I can only make the pieces that I'm commissioned for. So it's trying to get, I'm building on trying to get those commissions myself and all that. But it's just, and I think then when I sort of like started getting into it and doing bits, I started caring more about stuff. And it's not just like that. It's like it goes alongside like so. I made a router plane. I got a Paul Sellers router plane kit a while ago. I bought it months and months ago, to be honest. Really cool kit. Everyone wants to go and get one. About 40 quid, all the metal parts, but you have to make the router plane yourself. Now, I had some walnut left over. Great, I'll use that. So, but Crate, a crafty lass. She's one of my friends that I met on a training day a while ago, and she's a wood turner,
Cool.
and she's turned me all my pattern plywood into really cool plane knobs. You've probably seen you would have seen the picture on social media, I'm sure. So she turns all my pattern ply. So I sent her all my pattern ply so she could turn it for me. So it's just a case of saying that I'm not going to use it, but it's like I cared how that pattern ply was actually turned into a knob. Do you know what I mean? I'm starting to care about the whole process, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I do think that's only more when you sort of start making like commission pieces. I think that's what makes the difference when you start making commission woodworking pieces.
Yeah.
Is where you sort of like it's either you don't care as much about the price because you want the quality that you get because you need the quality wood,
Yeah.
but you also do care. You're just not going to go and I don't go to whatever it is. I don't go to wherever to buy stuff because it's cheap, so to speak. I go there because of what I get from that place. Do you know what I mean? Like I won't use B&Q because it's just fucking wank.
Mm.
If I'm desperate on a Sunday and I need a bag of plastic, I'll go and get a bag of plastic from B&Q. But for me, I mean, I used to use B&Q for certain stuff because it was cheap, but they used to give us trade discount. Then they turned around and said, you got to spend £2 a month to get your 10% trade, 5% trade discount, or whatever it was. Hang on, but if I'm 60, you can have 15%. Fuck off. Yeah, I'm not using it anymore because it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
There's a lot of profiteering going on. I don't really like it. The bigger businesses all have a good monopoly in quite a lot of the industries, and they can take the piss. So the only thing that we can do is boycott them. But even then,
It's not going to happen.
That doesn't fucking make a difference, does it?
No,
they're not. What's your under 100 quid purchase going to do to their total daily revenue? Piss all. It's not going
to. I think this was before COVID when the B&Qs changed the whole trade discount or trade point, whatever they call it. And literally, a lot of lads in the trade have fucking boycotted it because it's like you are taking the piss here. I mean, you go on a Sunday to buy a bag of plastic because you're desperate, and the queue in Aintree, Liverpool, is 30 deep. And you look down the line, and it's Doris and Albert and everyone else. They're all 70. And like, dude, there's no way they're in the trade. Get them out. That's not right. This is trade. And they're not trade. Oh, yeah, but he was a joiner back in the day. Right, he might have been, but he's not trade. He is retired. He is not trade. He is retail. End of. And you're like, dude, I just want to buy him a bag of plastic so I can go skim a bedroom wall that I don't want to do at the weekend. Just let me buy my bag of plastic. Yeah, it just infuriates me that they just. You see, I've always been one to. I've always liked the local timber yards and stuff like that, like for buying with 3B2s, 4B2s, or whatever. So not so much now I don't, but last few years, I've been working at all different places all over Liverpool or surrounding areas. And I'd always try and get my 3B2, my 4B2, my ply, plasterboard from a local merchant to where the job is. So I wouldn't use the one that I always use around the corner. I'd use the one nearest to the job. That's because I'm trying to keep the money in the area.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about big. I'm talking about like so and so timbers or where Southport. If I'm in Southport, I won't use like one of the big stores. I'll use Southport Timber, Formby Timber. They're still good sized companies, but they're still independent. Do you know what I mean? What did you say? Just because we don't spend 200 quid with them every single week, it makes no fucking difference, does it?
Well, I mean, you hit the nail on the head with what you've just said. You either go and give 200 quid to a big conglomerate, or you give 200 quid to the local guy around the corner who can put it towards his monthly shopping bill. I know what I'd rather do, and I sincerely hope the people that are watching this, I hope you guys make sure you decide on doing the same thing, because the big businesses are fucking assholes, and right now they've got everyone by the balls because they can.
Yeah, but the old problem is though, it's like because with costs going up, obviously things like your timber is going to be more of a luxury. Don't get me wrong, because hardwood timber is expensive compared to shit, plywood and all that. So people are less likely, because it's not just that; it's the skill involved and the time involved to make that fine furniture piece. That percentage of people is very, very small.
Yeah.
It's not like buying 2x4s or pallets and making the world's best patio set out of fucking pallet. I hate pallet furniture, mate.
I think it's very creative, Paul. What do you mean?
I fucking hate it. But I must admit, I am going to totally be what's the word? I can't think what it's called now. I am going to do in the future a pallet build for my YouTube channel. Just so the guns that you get where they punch the nails out through the pallets, like some stuff. I think they look really cool.
Yeah.
I want one of them.
Yeah, I saw that the other day, and I thought, shit, that would save me so much time.
That's all I want. I that's the whole reason for the YouTube video is going to be that. But no, it's a lot of people do it. I just thought, people do it. It's a big DIY thing, beginner woodworker thing. And I thought, you know what? I've never done it. Let's try it once. I don't want to fucking hate it, but I'm going to try it. See what I can. I know we had Matthew on recently, Matthew Moustache. In fact, his is going out this week actually, so it's not live yet as we record this. But he made this round pallet, a round table, like a coffee table, out of pallet wood. It was a beautiful piece. It was beautiful, and people do make some cracking stuff out of the pallet wood. Do you know what I mean? It is possible. Got to be lucky to get a good quality hardwood pallet as well and mill it down and everything like that. But I thought I'm gonna have to try it just because of the way my YouTube channel is. I'm going more of a beginner and start from the beginning all the way through into intermediate over the years. And so there's loads of expert YouTubers out there. I'm going to be that big in a big pool. There's no point. So let's start at the beginning. There's not very many good entry-level DIY channels at the minute. There's not. So that's where I'm starting. So I'll probably do the pallet build for that reason, because it sort of fits in with the
process,
the demographic that I've got at the minute.
Oh, I see. Right, got you.
But really, it's because I want the fucking gun to shoot shit out of.
Are you
cool.
Are you also going to paint it a lovely pastel color?
No, I'm not painting. I'm going to use some sort of petrol finish, I think. I didn't say it would be a functional piece at the end of the video. I just said I was going to make a piece of furniture out of pallet wood.
I very much look forward to watching it, including the fireworks at the end.
It will be getting blown up or burnt or something, just because, I just can't bring myself to doing it. So yeah, I've just spoiled that. So that video probably will be out in about 4 months, people, on my channel. So yeah, if you want to go and watch it, just go and watch it. And if you don't, well, I don't.
All I'm going to spam in the comments afterwards is I would love to see more of these types of videos.
Well, that's it. Jason Hibbs, we're Bournemouth from the States.
I don't know.
All right, so he's one of the people that he's changed his channel recently, slightly, his direction with his videos. But up until recently, he's been one of my most favourite channels on YouTube as a general rule. And he actually did a river table. And he always says about river tables with the epoxy, how much he hates them, this, that, and the other. So we did one. And he actually finished off the video by blowing it up with about 3 tons of C4. It was brilliant. I mean, I've got a river table downstairs. I've made a couple. I like them. They're not my everyday type thing, but you know what I mean? Each your own with them. But he
Yeah.
always said how much he hated it. So I think it was like his 100th video, or it was like an anniversary, like a milestone video. He built this stunning river table, put all the hate comments on pieces of paper that he'd had off his channel. So you know what, you get all the trolls on his channels and Instagram, and we get them. So yeah, he printed them all out, put them on bits of paper, put them in the river, then blew the fucker up. It's brilliant.
Do you get a lot of trolls on your YouTube channel?
I've suffered really bad recently, mate.
Really?
The last few months I've had. I had one instance of. I'm not going to go into details, and I can't go into details.
Yeah. Okay.
But the basic was, as it turned out, I was unaware, but there was an account that made a mem account targeting me. I got made aware of it. As it turned out, the same person had been trolling my accounts for 3 years straight, mate. 3 years.
They made a job of it. What the fuck?
I know.
What?
Yeah. No, I just literally put 2 and 2 together a while ago. Unbeknownst to me, the guy's been absolutely trolling me. He's got several Instagram accounts set up specifically to troll me.
What have you done to upset him, Paul?
I've never met the guy in my life. Never met him, never spoke to him. He got jealous because I got brand deals. That's all it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So my first brand deal was, I got my first brand deal was what, 4 years ago, and it was from them. He started I never knew his hate campaign.
Do you get a retainer for your brand deals?
I can't go into what I do and don't get from brand deals,
but
because
does the brand deals
I have
make
different
on a month-by-month basis?
No, so I mean, my brand deals, to be honest, it's not. I don't make money per se off any of the brand deals I've ever had. As in, I don't get paid a wage or anything like that. I don't get kickbacks from any of the brand deals I have either. So generally, as a rule, I've received products for my brand deals I've had in the last 4 years. I get products and stuff. Not money is in pound notes in my hand type thing. Because of the deals I have with these people. There are others which will be monetized, but they're, again, every brand, it all depends on what they want out of a brand. So if they want 20 videos a week, well, they've got to pay for that because they take a lot of time. If they only want the odd post or the odd this, the odd that, yeah, well, goods is sufficient to a point. It all depends on what it is and what they want, and you got to take each thing with what works. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not going to have a free tool that's worth 100 quid and do 15, 20 videos. No. My posts are worth 150, 200 pound each. That's £2,000. No, you're not getting them. Or the other nice ones I like are no obligation, where you get sent stuff. And if you use it, you use it. If you like it, you like it. And then, of course, if I like something, because I've got a few at the minute that I am working with. I am hoping that we'll go further as the builds move forward. So I've just started a relationship with Evolution Tools, which I think are a perfect match for my channel. I've got a load of screws sent out from Ultimate Wood Screws. Again, I've not actually used them yet because I'm waiting for the build series, because that's where I said I'd give the added value from. So the whole thing's, you got to be very careful. But so going back to the trolls as well. Yeah, so I noticed the other day, because I've been in a lot of shorts, because I'm also on part of a YouTube creator program. So I have bi-weekly meetings. Not just me. There's about up to 200 at a time in the UK and Europe, and we're all on like a Teams call with YouTube. So we get extra backup and extra help from YouTube with stuff we're doing. So one of the things was this last few weeks, they wanted us to post a short every day for 2 weeks, note certain findings, results, blah blah blah. Fine. And again, I actually found this. There's this one guy. I'll shit you not, mate. Within 5 minutes of me posting a reel, within 5 minutes, he had a fucking negative comment on my post. Every time. And I was sat down last night. I was like, hang on a minute. This guy's made this dickhead comment again. I'm like, hang on a minute. That just rings a bell, that name. So I went through, and sure enough, the last 5 videos in the last 5 days, he'd posted a comment every single time. So he'd obviously got notifications turned on. So the minute I post a video, he gets notified. He puts a dickhead comment on within seconds.
Well, any publicity is good publicity, Paul.
So, well, the thing is, you just agree with the fucking dickheads. And you just get more and more comments. Because the thing is, as they come back to write another reply to you, your video's getting screen time.
Yeah, exactly.
So it works. YouTube do not care if you get the thumbs down or a negative comment or anything like that. They don't care. It's engagement. They like engagement.
Well, the reason why I'm asking all of these questions is I've got how I would like eventually my page to work is if I can get to a number in which I become a bit more attractive to whoever it is, and they can provide me an income that is sufficient enough to, keep that thing going, I will then just give the wood away for free. I shit you not. I will go and find bits of wood and I will give it away for free.
So that sounds good to maybe. Are you thinking more sort of the sort of like machining side type company?
I have no idea. I don't.
Because
I'm open to all avenues. The reason why is because I'm not a greedy person. You can see that by the way that I'm
absolutely, yeah.
my current kind of wood shop, as it were. Yeah. I just have I just want to be able to just live sufficiently, live to my means, which isn't a great deal. And then whatever I can get from the internet, awesome. And then everything else is a bonus. And why then do I need to cash in on a bit of wood in which I've already received an income for?
See, the problem is with because obviously it's the whole thing. Well, this is why the podcast started, was me and Josh talking about content creating and helping each other into this journey. And it's interesting though, because you got to be careful, because sometimes what I've learned with brand deals, so to speak, already, it's massive in the last 6 months that not every brand deal is a good deal. As in, a lot of them probably aren't good deals, because the thing is, a brand. I'm not trying to,
No, go ahead.
Sound like, but it's that sort of thing where the brand doesn't always want to pay what you're worth, because they don't want to pay. So they might have a budget in mind, say. So if you're above that budget, well, they're like, well, we still want you, but we don't want to pay you that. It's the same thing with pricing, with the price of wood. You have a slab up for 100 quid. I only wanted to pay 60 quid, pal. Do you know what I mean? It's the same thing, because, well, that's then a case of, well, I'm sorry, but this plank of wood's £100, not 60. So if you want the piece of wood, you're paying 100 quid. End of. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you have to negotiate. Sometimes you have to negotiate. But yeah, it's been an interesting one that I've learned so much, because the content creating side of things is hard work, to the point where I think it won't be long. I'll probably have to end up getting a social media manager, which is someone that I'm hoping she will be coming on at some point in the near future. I'm still waiting for her to reply about that. She got busy and not replied, but never mind. But yeah, it's because it's something I've always thought, oh, I'll manage it myself, but social media takes up so much time.
Yeah.
I mean, I can knock out a reel. Again, we're talking to the YouTube people. I'm about to do these reels. Oh, it takes hours. It doesn't. I can knock out 10 reels in an hour. That easy. 10 minutes on CapCut, editing on my phone. Boom, boom, schedule, done. There's next week sorted. Fine. But like long form takes a lot more. Then you've got to do all your Instagram posts. And then if you've got 2 or 3 accounts, you got to do that for every single page. And then if you don't do something, then you've got to engage. It's just so much. And that's per platform. So you got Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Then there's this new fucking Instagram thing today, like a Twitter account. Is it Threads or something?
I don't know.
Twitter. Yeah, there's a new Instagram fucking talk app out today.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a new fucking Twitter. It's meant to be like Twitter, apparently. I honestly do not know about this, mate. I've got no idea. I saw one of my favourite creators. It's Modern Millie. It's one of my favourite creators on YouTube, Instagram for social media content and help. I think she's brilliant. So yeah, and she's put this new thing. I was like, what? What is this new thing? This thing called, I think it's called Threads. So it's Instagram, which is obviously Meta, Facebook, and all the same, and it's to rival Twitter.
Right.
So and then I keep hearing about all these newer ones with things like Twitch and this. And I'm like, what the fuck's that? And it's because it's like Twitch and all them, all these younger generation ones. So I'm like, shit, do I have to go into all them as well then? And literally, so before you think about it, there's 10 different social medias you need to be on platforms per account. So I've got 3 different accounts. That's 30 platforms, effectively. 30 accounts. It's a full-time job alone.
Yeah.
I mean, I get very quick about, cross-posting and all that, but it's so hard.
I'm sure there must be some sort of software that you can use that does a cross-platform thing.
Yeah, there is, but then the same piece will not perform on the same platform, different platforms. So if you put a reel on Instagram, it might work great. You use the exact same clip, exact same music, and put it on YouTube as a short, it will not perform anywhere near as well, or it might worse. Do the same one again on TikTok, nah, it won't work. So if you put the same clip on with the same audio on all 3 platforms, say, it'll always perform on one. Take your pick which one it is, but it will not perform on all 3. So literally, I'll have one of the ones I've done recently, 20,000 on TikTok, which is pretty good for one of my, because I've only not long started TikTok. So 20K is quite good at mine. Instagram seems to have dropped right down recently, I've noticed, but my engagement's really high, which is weird. But then, yeah, so it'll do really well on TikTok and shit on YouTube. If it does well on YouTube, it'll do shit on TikTok. Different styles.
Right.
It's weird.
Is that, well, I suppose you're casting quite a wide net, so it's hard to figure out. I suppose when your mind's locked in trying to figure out some content, you might have not remembered. I don't know. Because
it's the pace of the clips.
I guess.
So the pace of the clips. So TikTok is 20 to 25s generally. Instagram's 25 to 30. YouTube will be slightly older as a rule for where you go to look for stuff. So,
Right.
So we talk about this all the time. Like, so for me, because I'm mid-40s, I will actually go, if I want to know something, I'll go to Google to look at something, yeah?
Yeah.
People in the 30s will go to YouTube and go, how do I do this? The younger generation will go to Instagram, the younger ones will go to TikTok, how do I? So
Wow.
each one becomes a search engine. So TikTok actually has so TikTok, you want your clips to be between a frame to change about 1.5 seconds.
One and the what? You
frame
can't
change
be
needs to be every 1.5 seconds.
Comprehend more than 1.5 seconds for someone of that age.
It can be that, say, you're all the way out like this for the camera, and then you need to zoom in for after 1.5 seconds. Otherwise, you switch up the scroll.
1.5 seconds.
1.5 seconds for TikTok, mate. Unless you're doing one of these sort of like dickhead, the sort of like the funny ones or whatever you want to call them, like the joke ones, or there's a girl jumping up and down with the tits or something like
that. Yeah.
You've got no chance, mate. See, like your reels are great for Instagram. Do you know what I mean? They are. They're really cool reels. That would not perform on TikTok.
Right.
I bet you. Because it's too sensible.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And it hasn't got tits jumping up and down in the background or something like that. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I know they say sex sells, mate, but honestly, TikTok is just all it's all tits. That's all it is. It's just tits jumping up and down.
I might have to toy with the idea of
TikTok.
cross-dressing or something.
Oh, mate, transgender ones, that's all over TikTok. So TikTok's very trendy as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's all current trends, and the trends switch, and it's just not. To me, it's just like
it's quite puerile, actually. By even just discussing it, it just seems too childish. I get bored.
See, for me, like the content creating is because I love making videos, but yeah, I need to improve them still. I've got ideas now. I want to change moving forward. I enjoy making the content. It is fun, but it's hard work. Don't get me wrong, but then it's a case of you got to do like 3 different styles, 3 editing styles, and the trolls are the worst, mate. But it was funny. We had John on last week. John Wicks. It's John from Wicks Woodworking. We had him on. I think he was last weekend. Can't remember. But John's a very funny guy. His Instagram account is very almost like a comedial type Instagram, where he's just doing funny things. He's not being serious at all. He does some lovely woodworking pieces. Don't get me wrong. It's nothing. That's not it. And he's just like, just agree with the trolls. Fuck them. They hate it when you agree with them. Just, yeah. You're right, man. I should definitely do that. And then do another video just doing exactly what they didn't want you to do. You know what I mean? Just to piss them off. And these, it's the right sort of thing, though, because the thing is, it consumes you as well. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's bullying, isn't it?
Mm. In its purest form. Yeah, most definitely. I'm quite fortunate. I haven't yet experienced anything like that, and but I've got a bit of a forked tongue, so if I did experience it, I wouldn't be too against having a bit of a digital tussle, because I find it quite fun.
I know, but then you can't do that because that fucking knocks you. That kicks you in the balls. It comes back and kicks you in the balls, mate.
Does it?
It does, yeah.
So I've got to be on my behaviour.
Unfortunately, you have, because the digital world is an arsehole world. And we're not allowed to say what we want and what we want to do. Because you are going to offend some fucking snowflake.
Well, I might do, but
I know, but when that snowflake's offend you have to say to him. I mean, we said, yeah, I've dealt with you. And it is, and when I get the next one, I probably will do. I want to fucking rip their head off again. But you just have to say, and it's as hard as it is, and it is really fucking hard. You're right, mate. Absolutely right. Thank you very, very so much. We just said to this guy, the last one was like, mate, if you don't like what I'm saying, them thumbs are made for scrolling. That's what I just said to him in the end. He had about 10 comments on my YouTube video. I'm just saying, no, you're wrong, blah, blah, blah. It started off being like you might have a valid point here, so explain myself properly. Because you don't get it in a 10-second video, do you know what I mean? The full context and description.
Yeah.
Then he just kept telling me you're wrong. You're just a fucking joiner. You joiners think you know best. It's like, you're all wankers. All right, mate, if you don't like something, those thumbs are made for scrolling. That's all you need to do. And then I block the fucker. Because I don't want shit like that on my account. It's my account. And it's not for you to tell me what I can put on my account, is it? Do you know what I
mean? I think that's part. That's the strange thing about being visual on the whole internet thing, which I'm slowly just starting to work out. I'll be honest. there seems to be it's you kind of put yourself
You're out there.
you put portions of yourself out there, don't you? And you don't really understand kind of the expectations of what's allowed, what's not allowed, and the fallback from it. So, but most of the time, it's I would say for me, I'm quite fortunate. There's been nothing but love. So, and long may it continue. And when I do get something fairly,
it's inevitable. It will happen. I say unfortunately, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. You're going to get one fucking retard out the, thousands of comments and accounts you get, and you reach every week on every post. It's going to happen, but it's if you don't like something, why do you? I mean, if someone's doing something blatantly wrong and it's dangerous, say to them, dude. I mean, there's one guy on fucking hell. It was on a Facebook post. And he was saying, "Oh, this DeWalt saws a pile of shit. This, that, and the other." I'm like, mate, the blade is binding because you're pushing down on the timber. The wood piece isn't supported, so you're causing the binding. It's dangerous. You're gonna get a kickback. Blah blah blah. And he just made out, "Oh, I'm not doing that." And he was just obviously he was going for attention. And I went, "Mate, you can physically see in the video and I circled it and screenshot it. Your hands pressing down on the timber. Your saw bench is 2 foot away from the cut. No, learn to use a circular saw properly." And he just started the rampage. Like, you know what, fuck. And everyone jumped on, like, tell him you're using a circular saw wrong. And he wouldn't have it because he was 22 and a great joiner.
That's a shining example of my industry. It's because if tree surgery, it's cutthroat. If you've ever gone onto any tree surgery community page, it is fucking brutal. There are no holds barred. Doesn't matter what color you are, doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how good you are, you're shit.
But it is a very dangerous trade, though, isn't it, to be fair, as well, with the chainsaws. And if it's bad practices, should I say, it can be very dangerous.
Well, I think also, partly the standards that we have in the UK are fairly good. Well, in Europe are fairly good, but when you go over to the States, they have a less than desirable kind of attention towards PPE. They're not wearing, as a start, general rule of thumb, wear fucking chainsaw trousers. Why? Because it stops a fucking chainsaw. It's not rocket science, is it? But for some reason, the Yanks, they love it. They won't wear. They don't like wearing chainsaw trousers. It's crazy. And
it's probably because they're heavy and they're all pussies.
Well, partly as well. I notice whenever.
I apologise to our American listeners.
We're gonna just cover your ears or something. If you go to the Scandinavian countries, right, they will use the smallest bar possible that they can get away with. One, because they've got to lug that shit round all day. Two, because you don't need an enormous bar. But then,
you mean the length of the chainsaw itself?
Correct. Yeah. So not the engine unit bit, the other bit, which
the amount of cut you've got per.
Correct.
Like a foot, 2 foot, 3 foot.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I always go under the idea that use the shortest bar possible, because you don't need to wang around this fucking enormous thing all day. But then if you look at how
you hear that, viewers, he says you do not have to wang. You think this enormous wang round all day. So I think to all the ladies out there, he's telling you something as well.
But the Americans, they will pick the biggest chainsaw that they can find, and let's just say they're only cutting. Yeah, just in case. But it's weird, the mentality of it. And then you're on the community pages of any kind of tree surgery group. Everyone will happily just slate each other, and it's fucking brilliant. If you want to go and have a good laugh, hop on, check it out.
That's it, though. I mean, but banter's fine.
Oh no, it goes way beyond.
I know, but people they're actually not being serious with each other, are they? They're more.
No, absolutely they are.
Oh, they are literally ripping, as in being like
everything is on the
nasty.
table. Yeah. There's an extreme hatred towards particularly on UK our talk sites, there is an extreme hatred towards anyone who lives a nomadic lifestyle, as an example. But yeah, but then again, sometimes their tree surgery practices are again questionable.
Yeah. Honestly.
It's it's a good crack.
I mean, I'm all for banter on site, do you know what I mean? And I mean, my plumber mate this morning, he walked on site, he goes, "Oh, what did they this, that, and the other. So, what did the developers say? Oh, they said something about ignore the plumber, he's completely not a twunt." He's like, you know what I mean? I was like, just calm down. I'm having a laugh, mate. You know what I mean? Because banter's all good to a point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's always a lie to a point with everyone, and the line's different with everyone else, isn't it? As well.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I did this very horrible thing to my apprentice once. So we've got cattle at the farm, and
Yeah.
it was the day in which we had castrating, and we've
Ooh.
got the vet that comes and visits us. He's a fucking hilarious guy. He's this big gay bloke called Barnaby. Anyway, Barnaby is such a good laugh. So when Barnaby rocked up, I was like, "Barnaby, just run with everything that I say." And he was like, "Oh, okay. What are you up to?" I was like, "Just run with it, please." And Tristan, who was fairly, he's an apprentice. Anyway, I told Trist, I was like, "Trist, right, for the anaesthetic to work for the castration, you have to massage it in."
For fuck's sake.
We got through 4 animals. And I was like, "Yeah, it's probably about a minute, 2 minutes each." And then me and the vet, we couldn't hold it in anymore.
I'm guessing that's also going to come up on the shorts when they did the when they did the what's it called? The AI shorts. That's going to have to come up as a short now, isn't it?
I haven't got any footage of it.
No, I mean this is coming up as a short. There's us talking.
Oh, I
We
see.
generate all the shorts from the AI, don't we? And
I got some great ones. That's not even the best. Fucking hell. I mean, my environment's quite fun. There's a lot of shit that can go wrong. So if you don't approach it with a decent bit of humor, then it's everyone gets demoralized and angry. So you got to keep everyone fairly high spirited. Sometimes at the subject of at the cost, of course, of the apprentice.
Fucking hell. I mean, the thing is, you can't get away with. I mean, I don't really do site work anymore because the fucking stupid UK system. But so I don't have the apprentices. So, but the thing is, you wouldn't be able to do half the tricks on apprentice these days without getting absolutely dragged up and down the coals. Whereas when I was an apprentice, it was literally free game. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I remember because I did a mechanics apprentice to start with, and I actually really enjoyed that to a point. Well, it got to a point where I didn't enjoy it anymore. Obviously, the lads were great. I like the lads, but the body shop. So it was a mechanic. One side was a mechanic. The other side was the body shop of the garage. And I was excited. And body shop foreman just let the piss out of me as he wanted. And obviously that doesn't wash for me. I mean,
Right.
I was only 17 at the time, but you didn't know. That doesn't happen with me. And one break time, we all sat up. There's like a bit of a mezzanine, and we sat there. And he just thought it'd be funny to smash a raw egg on my head. And he sat down, pissing himself, thinking how funny it was because stink all day. Went, "I'm going home, dickhead." And I picked up a cup of coffee and slashed it all over his balls.
What?
I picked up a cup of coffee and threw it
Was it
right
hot?
at his groin as he was fucking. It was fucking roasting hot, mate. Just fucking made it.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, "Don't fuck with me, dickhead." And you know what? You never seen someone get their overalls and the fucking jeans off so quick because it was burning through to his balls. I went, now I'm going home because I need to wash this off because you've now put egg on me. I'm dirty. I can go home. It's in my contract, dickhead. Ta-ra. So I went home. Well, actually, I washed off outside by the Velator section, and then I went home. And he was there with, and he's like, I said, next time he's like, I said, you'll think twice about fucking me over again, won't you? Or trying it again. You never tried anything ever again.
I think it's just part of the process, though. When you're an apprentice, you have to kind of.
I know, but he wasn't my foreman. He was totally, you know what I mean? He was the body. And he always tries to, can you go for a bag of spot welds? I went, yeah, not a problem, pal. So I went in, and I went into the mechanics bit, and Barry, my foreman, he sort of like taught me the first couple of years. What are you doing? I was getting all the nuts and bolts out of all the bins. You know, the random nuts and bolts in a bag. He went, what are you doing? That fucking dickhead. And I went into Ivan, who was the foreman, threw him at me. He said, what the fuck's that? I said, that's your bag of spot welders, dickhead. And he went, and he looked at the bag and went, are you really that fucking stupid? And he went, he's like, he didn't realise it. You know, he just thought he could get me with every single thing. I was like, so I just got him back every single time. I was like, he soon get, but the coffee, that was the nail in the coffin. He never bothered me ever again after that.
We have got rules. Like, everyone's allowed to fucker with each other at our place, but our rules are very simple. You cannot mess with food and drink. That's it. We call out and PPE, of course, because it costs fucking money. But yeah, otherwise.
Yeah, well, the thing is with PPE as well, you don't want someone having an accident because you're fucking about. You know what I mean? There's always got to be limitations, regardless, with anything like that, aren't there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You can't run into a fucking in the brew room with a chainsaw, with a 3-foot bar on, running around going, ha 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 ha. You know, you can't do that. But yeah, no, I don't know, drinks. I'd put salt in someone's coffee for a laugh. That sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? Do you want sugar? Yeah. And just put a load of salt in. Because that is sort of harmless.
Yeah.
Because they're just going to spit it out, then you make them another drink. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I
wouldn't fuck with people's food because that is but like a drink, I don't know.
Well, the only reason why I say food and drink is because we're working outside a lot and we get wet a lot. So the little luxuries that we do have is, you know, the packed lunch that we've got and the floss that we've got. So it's just a basic ground rule. But the other thing as well is I quite enjoy having a bit of a wrestle with Trish, the apprentice, and like if he's gobbing off that day, I'm like, come on, there, should we go and do you want to go and scuffle on the wood chip pile? And he's like, yeah. I was like, all right then, let's go scuffle on the wood chip pile. So we'll spend 15 minutes having a bit of a fucking scuffle.
No, I think, but you see, that just becomes, when there's banter or whatever to a point as well, that sort of side of things, it does make the workplace a better place to work in as well, because you've got that sort of thing. But like, I don't know, sometimes it's knowing when to stop though, isn't it? And the younger ones I found don't know when to stop, and they'll keep going like, whoa, you need to fucking stop, otherwise you're going to fucking smacked. And they don't know when to stop.
Yeah, that is very Tristan. But it's funny because I have been scuffling with him quite a lot. I can kind of, I know when he has got a switch, and I know when he does, his eyes glaze over.
Yeah,
he's just. Yeah. And then I go, all right, you win. I'm sorry. Come on.
Yeah.
And
so no, 100%. I'm all for having a banter. I'm always having a banter on site. I mean, I will have a banter because we need that for that bit of release. But like, I don't fuck about with people's safety. That as you say, that's bang out of order, 100% these days. Well, anytime it was, but it's just. Yeah, I think so. It's hard, like the situation with like Plumber today. Was like he was doing fucking on him. Good mate, man. He is a good mate, and he was just doing me head in. You got to do that. No, you're not telling me how I'm doing my job. That's not for you to tell me. You're not my boss. You're not paying me today, so I'm doing it the correct way. And he just wasn't having any of it. I'm like, no, but that's what we're doing. And he did start to arm me up. I'm like, mate. And he just said, I can see, you could see that I was getting really fucked. I'm like, mate, let me do my job. I just want to do my job. I go the fuck home.
Mm.
If you want to hack my stud apart when I'm finished, hack my stud apart when I'm finished. Not my concern. Let me do my job properly so I can go. But it's hard though, because we work together all the time. Not all the time, but we do a lot of jobs together. And I do a lot of work for him when he's paying me. So when he's paying me though, he can tell me how he wants something doing to a point. But when he's not the client, he can't tell me what to do. And like he forgets that sometimes. And I think sometimes, it's always hard. That's a self-employed thing, though, isn't it? That if you're not working for the same person all the time, you forget sometimes where stuff is. But we still, today ended well. Do you know what I mean? We're having a laugh with each other, and still, he just gets
watch out for coffee.
What?
Just watch out for your coffee. Your
I
plumber.
take a flat. He doesn't make me a fucking mate. He made me a pro. I did a little work for in his house last year. It wasn't. I think last time I did some work for him, like in his house. He made me a fucking instant coffee, pal. Instant fucking coffee. I mean, that is the other thing now these days that we'll get. Obviously, I wouldn't do it to a client, obviously, but that's going to get the coffee back in the lap, mate. You don't make me an instant coffee. Do you know what I mean? No, I like proper coffee. I like I'm a bit of a coffee snob.
When I host you, Paul, you'll be grateful to know that we have got ground coffee. Well, I'll make sure I buy some instant for that day.
Well, I'll just put it through the machine and fuck up the machine at the same time because it's just like to prove a point. No, I mean, I actually Richard Wyatt, one of my friends from Instagram. I say friends because I speak to Richard an awful lot, but I've never actually met the guy. He makes some awesome spoons. So he does them on the scroll saw, carves them all out by hand.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So I actually bought one.
Nice.
Because I like my coffee. And I actually wanted a bag of coffee that you can't get in the UK. Well, you can. It's £35 a bag because of imports.
Okay.
So it's 17 quid in the States, or $17. So I got him to buy me a bag of coffee, make me a spoon, send it to my friend's hotel in Orlando, because she's a long haul air hostess, and she brought it back for me.
Oh, nice.
So what I say, I thought I like my nice coffee. I mean, I do like my coffee, but I thought, so I actually bought a nice spoon off it. His spoons are lovely; they really are good. But again, it's the whole thing about coffee. I love my coffee, mate. Honestly, it's one of the little things in life that I've just got to have proper coffee.
Yeah. Sugar.
I do have sugar. Yeah. If it's a proper good espresso, like a good Italian one, as in you've in Italy having it, I won't have any sugar in it. I'm not having a nice espresso, but I don't know. I mean, I've got two Gadget coffee machines in the loft that don't get used.
I bet you're a Demerara kind of guy as well, aren't you?
You what?
I bet you're a Demerara kind of guy as well, aren't you?
No, I just use fucking white sugar, mate. I just use white sugar, mate. I do. But yeah, I've got like 3 or 4 different, the silver things that you do on the coffee pot stove things.
Okay.
Got 3 or 4 of them. Don't use them. I'm on a Gator cafetiere at the minute. Got it from Amazon. Pretty good. It is so like the French press cafetières.
Yeah. I think
so it's not quite the best coffee. You don't get like that, the creme on it or anything. You don't get that high intensity pressure. But you can make a big pot, and it'll last for 2 hours hot. It's like a thermos flask almost. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I quite like that. That's pretty cool. Right, I think that's enough rambling on for today's little. I think we can carry on now. For a bit. Yeah, so as normal, this will be available on all audible platforms. It'll be on the good old YouTube if you want to laugh at us as well as a picture. All links will be in the description down below, as per normal. Any questions, you can reach out to myself or the Wooden Work podcast for any questions. Obviously, you can reach out to Jerry at Grantland Timber as well for any questions you have direct for him. So thank you very much for joining us, Jerry.
Thanks for having me.
Again, you're welcome. All right, everyone, shall see you next week.